"Sorry, but your name is not on the list." The phrase came out coldly, slicing through the luxurious lobby's air like a knife. The manager of the renowned Grand Imperial Hotel had just turned away an elegant woman whose impeccable attire and confident posture were not enough to impress him. The woman, without losing her composure, gave a polite smile and replied, "Are you sure? Please check again." The manager sighed, visibly impatient, and shook his head. He reviewed the computer screen again, and after a few moments of silence, reaffirmed in a dry tone, "No, ma'am. We have no reservation under your name." The lobby, full of people, suddenly fell silent, as if everyone was waiting for the outcome of this awkward moment. The woman, still calm, leaned slightly closer to the manager. "Well, maybe you should check again. Under Trump." The name seemed to ricochet off the hotel's walls. Some of the more attentive staff froze upon hearing it, but the manager, with a disdainful expression, didn't even flinch. "Did I hear that right?" he retorted with an ironic smile. "Trump. That makes no difference here." The woman's eyes sparkled, not with anger, but with the determination of someone who knew that moment would be just the first chapter of a much larger story. The Grand Imperial Hotel was famous for its exclusivity and for catering only to the richest and most influential. The manager, Charles Whitman, had become a sort of gatekeeper for the place. His personal policy was simple. He decided who was or wasn't worthy of entering. To Charles, this woman was just another person trying to use a famous name to gain advantages. He'd seen it before, or so he told himself. "I won't tolerate tricks," he stated, crossing his arms. "If you don't have a valid reservation, I suggest you look elsewhere. We're fully booked." The woman took a deep breath, clearly trying to keep her composure. She gave one last look around as if memorizing every detail of the place, the gleaming marble, the opulent chandeliers, and Charles's smug demeanor, which seemed to relish the scene. "Very well," she finally said. "But I'll be back." Charles laughed. A brief, sarcastic laugh. To him, she was just another person who would never cross his path again. The incident quickly became a topic on social media. A guest who witnessed everything recorded the moment Charles rejected the woman. The video went viral, titled, "Luxury Hotel Manager Humiliates Melania Trump." In the comments, opinions were divided. Some said Melania, as a public figure, should have been better prepared and avoided the confrontation. Others, however, harshly criticized the manager, accusing him of disrespect and prejudice. But Melania herself remained silent. No official statement, no tweet. Just an enigmatic "I'll be back" that now seemed to echo across the digital universe. Exactly 1 week later, the Grand Imperial Hotel was in its usual routine. Guests came and went, and Charles was at his post, observing everything with his characteristic arrogance. Then, a fleet of black cars approached the main entrance. From one of them stepped an elegant woman, once again with her impeccable posture. It was Melania Trump. But this time, she wasn't alone. She was accompanied by a team of lawyers, advisors, and a mysterious figure. Charles, upon seeing her enter the lobby, smirked, already preparing another theatrical rejection. "Ah, Mrs. Trump, back again without a reservation?" But before he could continue, the mysterious figure handed him an envelope. Confused, Charles opened it, and his face began to pale as he read the contents. "What's this?" he asked, his voice trembling. Melania stepped forward, now smiling calmly but meaningfully. "This, Mr. Whitman, is the purchase contract for this hotel. I told you I'd be back." The lobby once again fell silent. Staff and guests were stunned, trying to process what had just happened. Charles looked at the documents again, incredulous. "You bought the Grand Imperial?" "Yes," Melania replied firmly. "And now I decide who gets in and who doesn't." Charles Whitman stood frozen, holding the contract with trembling hands. The self-confidence he always carried vanished in seconds. He tried to speak but seemed incapable of forming coherent words. Melania Trump, on the other hand, was in complete control. Her elegant posture, combined with unshakable calm, made it clear that this moment was not an impulsive revenge but a meticulously planned move. "Mr. Whitman," she began in an almost maternal tone, "I'll spare you the embarrassment of continuing here. You may consider this your last day as manager." The lobby buzzed with murmurs. Employees whispered. Guests exchanged glances. As Charles gathered his things, humiliated, Melania turned her attention to the hotel staff. "Now, let's begin something new," she announced, looking at everyone present. "This hotel will no longer be a symbol of exclusion and arrogance. It will be a place where everyone is welcome and treated with respect." Shortly after officially taking ownership of the hotel, Melania began implementing drastic changes. She gathered the entire staff, from cleaning crew to administrative managers, to share her vision. "I know you're used to a rigid system, but that's going to change," she declared. "I want this hotel to be known for its hospitality, not its exclusivity. We will value our guests and also our team." One of the first changes was to the physical environment of the hotel. The austere marble and gold decor were replaced with modern, welcoming designs that conveyed luxury without ostentation. Local artwork adorned the hallways, celebrating the region's diversity and culture. In addition, Melania made a point to restructure service standards. She hired training specialists to teach staff to provide impeccable yet humane service, valuing every visitor regardless of their status. With the changes underway, Melania decided to host a grand reopening event open to the public. Journalists, influencers, and even curious former guests attended to see how the Grand Imperial had been reborn under her leadership. That evening, Melania took to the stage set up in the lobby, illuminated by the chandeliers that now shone differently, not just as decoration but as a symbol of the hotel's new chapter. "Good evening, everyone," she began with a sincere smile. "A week ago, I was turned away in this very place. But instead of letting that define me, I decided to turn this episode into something bigger. Today, I want to welcome you all to the new Grand Imperial." The audience gave her a standing ovation. "This place now represents inclusion, respect, and excellence. I want anyone who steps in here, whether a magnate or an ordinary tourist, to feel at home. Because hospitality isn't about status. It's about heart." The night was a resounding success. Celebrities shared the event on social media, and the press covered the transformation as an example of resilience and leadership. In the months that followed, the hotel attracted not only luxury seekers but also people inspired by the story behind the new Grand Imperial. Melania became an example of how to respond to adversity with action and purpose. The hotel's reputation, once associated with elitist exclusivity, now symbolized innovation and hospitality. Staff who once feared their positions began to take pride in working in an environment that valued collective effort. As for Charles Whitman, he quietly disappeared from the hospitality industry, unable to overcome the scandal of his public dismissal. Once, a reporter asked Melania if she held any resentment over what happened that fateful night. Her response was a calm smile. "No. Sometimes we need to be rejected to realize where we truly belong." What began as a moment of humiliation turned into an opportunity for change. And now, the Grand Imperial is not just a hotel. It's proof that we can rewrite any story. The phrase resonated as a lesson for everyone who followed her journey. Challenges can be catalysts for great transformations, as long as we have the courage to face them. The end.